project. This is our testing slightly different method of recording because we have software to cover in here. Well, not software, but yeah, it is software, but more important on the topics are covered with software. So the first thing we're going to do, probably right now, we're on the display scene. Most of the overarching theme here is basically we're trying to get rid of the programs that we don't need anymore, or that at least I want to cover really a topic. So this has a lot to do with administrative stuff that cover domains like income tax, so finance. I think another one is recording, so that's this project as a whole, and I guess video editing would fall under that. Another one is security, so think of anti-malware, antivirus. Another one has to do with just tech, so clearing the recycling bin. And I think a fifth one might be also tech related. It's kind of looking at the reliability monitor, some intrinsic tools you can use on a general PC laptop to check for errors and stuff like that. So why don't we just get started? The first thing I have to show here that I want to get rid of, there's actually multiple tabs open. If you can't see on the screen, there's only one right now, but before there were pay stubs, for example. And obviously I'm not going to show pay stubs, that's private information. So what we have here right now is, it's income tax season for those of you guys who, well, I think everyone's working nowadays, regardless of whether you're youth or maybe even when people are close to retirement or retired already, you still find something to go out and do because it's just more healthy, it's healthier lifestyle, and people they've kind of got their shit together now, right? It's not before things went south in 2018, 2019, there's a substantial proportion of the population that was kind of obese or living a sedentary life, and it was a large proportion. It's no longer the case anymore, as people have, gotten on board with fitness and mental health and physical health and financial well-being and, so on and so forth. After about 2020, when the whole world kind of went to shit, people kind of got themselves collected, or they tried the best that they could. So I wouldn't think that people are as unhealthy as they used to be. So, and on that note, basically, I guess I would think people also are kind of on top of not just the fitness and physical health and mental health, but also their finances and careers. So that's where income tax comes in here, where it's income tax season, right? It's it's coming to that point. I think some of you have already prepared them, but I think most people kind of leave it to the last minute because there's so much going on in life. So what I'm going to cover here is just there's sort of two things. The first is that Adobe Acrobat, right? So we're talking a little bit about software itself for documentation, official documents. Usually comes up, if I open it now, some kind of pop-up saying that there's like a sign-in membership or something like that, where you get some sort of, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, some kind of perk. But afterwards, what's really important is the documentation that I need. So the first was, for example, pay stubs that I mentioned. I collated a bunch of pay stubs that over the course of the year that would be useful for, say, providing to my housing coordinator. And so they do need my pay stubs to verify my income. That has to do with residency and housing. I actually went there today to see my housing coordinator, who will, again, privacy. We're not going to give any names or anything that can identify anybody. Let's just say Jay. Jay, I saw her today. We had a brief conversation. She was quite busy. There were other tenants who were in the office, and her colleague was dealing with them, helping them to sort through all the administrative mess. And my case was simpler. The other group was, there was like 3 men sort of living co-inhabiting, I guess like brothers and cousins. It's like 3 sort of like youth, roughly. And there was after it was sort of my turn, she sent me over and we had a conversation. And I provided her a bunch of documents. There's some documents that I provided that she didn't need, so she corrected me on that. I did bring some documents that were unnecessary, but I wanted to be thorough, so I made a couple mistakes there, and she pointed them out, corrected me, and I also provided some documentation to her and clarified on what purpose it was for. There were some things that she didn't anticipate she would need, and I had them ready already. So it was some back and forth, very cooperative. We got it done, and I actually sent the email done. So part of that was this, what you see here, not just the pay stubs on this document right now. I'm not going to scroll up or down too much because it is private. It is a private document, right? This is our revenue agency's income tax filings. Once it's successful, we call it the notice of assessment. And again, if you're from where I'm from, right, you know what the NOA is. So every year, between January through to about maybe May, people start filing their taxes, right? And I think different countries do it at different periods, slightly different alterations. I don't really know how things work in the States, for example. But we're working through our paperwork. Some people file it themselves. Some people get an accountant. I have an accountant. Some people have businesses, so they are self-employed. And so again, a relatable example. And you try to get it done as soon as possible. It's kind of my motto, although it depends on how much responsibility you have to handle in your personal life. And so that's what we have here. I just wanted to showcase it. So you see here, I'm just going to read line 15,001, total income, deductions from total income, net income 23,600, deductions from net income 26,000, taxable income. We calculate your taxes using the amounts below based on the information we have or you gave us. You may review your return later or verify income or credits you claimed. For more information, go to blah-de-da, keep all your slips, your receipts, and other in case we ask to see them. So obviously, the revenue agency will come to oftentimes to verify or to conduct an audit on, whether or not people file their taxes appropriately. All right, so that's one thing down, right? Adobe, as well as pay stubs, as well as, taxes. So accounting, housing, finance, employment, and software, all in one. So we're gonna get rid of that once I finish with this. The next thing I want to do is cover this piece of software. This is called VideoProc. This is something that is like over the years, they have really substantially improved this software. It's really quite an amazing piece of software. It allows you to download videos, allows you to edit and trim and sort all the basic things, but it does it really, really well because they have a very efficient compression and encoding system. I don't know enough to tell you the specifics of the perks. All I know is that, from a layman's perspective, this not only gets the job done, it gets the job done really fast, and it compresses your files into, smaller sizes should you so wish, because storage is a very expensive commodity, right? People pay for storage, people pay for data on their hard drives and disks, and so that's something that I found is really important. It's a very nifty tool that I would use for a lot of different reasons. What I have here on the showcase is, again, my production quality. Again, I want to apologize. My quality of production is pretty low, and it's just due to circumstance. I've elaborated a little bit, quite a bit in my past episodes. But the point is, this is doing the trick for me. And what I have here is an example where I cut up one of my previous recordings where I recorded something that I didn't want to record because there was information that I didn't want to expose, for example. And then I just cut it up. I trimmed off the component, the piece, the little slip, and then I merged the components that I did want to keep and formed a new episode or podcast video multimedia file, which is basically what was done here. And it conserved the size. Some pieces of software, especially the older ones, not too long ago, maybe just 2, 3, 4, or 5 years ago, would have taken a file that you would edit, and then it would punch out something that is almost twice the size. So you put in something that's maybe 750 MB, and then it comes out as 1.5 gigabytes, even though you trimmed it down in size. This piece of software does not do that. In fact, it preserves the data file, the size of the data file. And I find that's really amazing. And of course, it does other things too now with the advent of artificial intelligence and AI. What it's allowed to do is it has new algorithms installed and built into this software for a very affordable price. And what it does is it's capable of doing, things that just a few years ago were considered impossible. Now AI allows you to do it. Smooths out images, it denoises, so removes all the shaking on the camera, and it can increase the resolution and fabricate by extrapolating coordinate points how an image would look if you were to increase the resolution by approximating. So all that kind of stuff, it does all that nifty, pizzazz and everything like that. And that's stuff that honestly I don't even use, right? I don't even use that. I don't even use this piece of software for that, but it's pretty good. So anyway, that's the video proc. I'm going to close this because this is something that I generally don't want to keep open, again, because of CPU usage. Speaking of which, why don't we go there right now? And right here. So this is something I really want to close probably immediately once I'm done talking about this. So this is just Control-Alt-Delete. This is the task manager, right? The good old-fashioned Windows PC task manager. And if you can't tell, the memory is on fucking crazy 92% memory. It's because Edge has so many tabs, again, like 30 instances or something, and maybe 1,500 tabs at least at their bare minimum. So you can see that I want to get rid of some programs here, obviously, so that I can free up some memory and just not destroy my laptop. Okay, it's crazy. I can't believe that it's come to a point, a time in history where laptops can run all this software, and I can do a recording like this even with 1,500 tabs open. But anyways, let's just get rid of that, because I just want to showcase how bad it is right now, right? This is all the ideas and information, activities, responsibilities, tasks, all sorts of domains, from technology, health, finance, medicine, relationships, social, managing, administrative stuff, careers, employment, blah-de-da, blah-de-da-de-da-de-da, that has built up that I want to speak on. Usually I was up to date with this back in like 5 years ago, like 2020, 2021, and then things went to shit. So sabotage, that's what will happen if people are trying to ruin what you have, right? So close this, okay, thank God, because I know Task Manager does take up a substantial amount of space and memory. Get rid of that. And you know what, why don't I just close Adobe as well, because I don't buy, right? Get rid of that. Okay. So what else do we have here? So this is something that kind of pissed me off for a while. I've had this calculator open and it keeps, for some reason, opening more and more. Every time I log in, it opens more and more calculators. I don't know what the reason for that is. Let's just get rid of most of these. But you can see that one of the calculators here is kind of different. So it has a different value. And the reason for that is, they're all zero except for this one here, is because I use the calculator to punch out the net income. So I was using it just on the basic. I didn't want to use Excel. Usually I use Excel for everything, but in this case I just want something that didn't use that much, that didn't hog up that much space. And you can't tell, everything's kind of really trying to manage the integrity of my device right now. It's not good. But anyways, just a low memory calculator, punch out some values because I needed to work out the net income that I received over the year from several streams of income. So that's it, and we can get rid of that. 4,044 divided by 12. I was working out the approximate, what was it? It's some sort of fee. It could be rent, it could be a lease payment, something like that. I was just working out calculations for costs and expenses. Budgeting, that's the way to think about budgeting. Okay, the next thing we have, so we got rid of that thing. What else? Okay, here's a big one. This one I can close this. It won't shut down, of course. It's still going to be running in the background, but at least I will have one less window operating. So this is obviously Bitdefender, Total Security. If you know, it's just cyber security and antivirus, anti-malware are very important. You got to have something robust nowadays, because I mean, honestly, even Bitdefender doesn't do the trick nowadays. But anyways, It's for personal use, right? So you don't have to go all out or crazy over this. You can use any variety of cybersecurity tools like Kaspersky. Norton won't do the trick anymore nowadays. I think McAfee is pretty decent, but it's kind of like and you can use any of the packages from identity theft to this or that or riffraff. And my phone's ringing, I don't know why it is. Anyways, so that's notifications here. It says application allowed to access network, Windows Store app allowed to use your webcam, stuff like that. And I'm not going to run through it, but you can see there's a dashboard, protection, privacy, utilities, all critical warning information. So I'm just going to close that right now. It's still going to be running in the background, obviously, all the time, but just get rid of that. The reason why I think I had that open is because, no, I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. I was gonna say that it probably blocked an attack or something like that, or some kind of phishing attempt, but no, because I never get those attempts anymore. I mean, thankfully, right? Thankfully, but that's because, you know, I would hope that most of us are wiser and smarter and more mature about how we surf the internet nowadays. There's no way that people are so I don't know, what would you call it? Ignorant. There's no way you could have that poor internet etiquette in 2024, is there? Because 2025 now, because scams and frauds are everywhere. They're everywhere. So educate yourself on that. It's really important. I'm not doing this to like become saying like it's really important. I think it's a really great suggestion to learn just the basics of how to surf the web safely, right? Not click on how to avoid sketchy websites, how to make sure you just pay attention to the top couple websites, making sure that, you know, you have some kind of, again, anti-malware, anti-virus software installed. Don't click on suspicious links. Identify any emails that have, you know, some sort of urgency. They're trying to say, oh, you've got to get this done within the next 10 minutes, especially things that involve, you know, your bank account. They're trying to lure you into giving information about your bank account and stuff like that. So that's just some basic stuff there. I'm not going to go through all that. That might be a different topic for a future episode, for example. Anyways, and there are a lot of channels out there where you can get some solid information, which my channel doesn't go that far in depth on. My project doesn't go into that niche at that level. All right, next. Okay, so we got that. We've knocked off a few things. This is the reliability monitor. So this one has to do with, this is an intrinsic tool like the event viewer or command prompt or PowerShell, part of Windows. Linux systems will have something different, I believe. So will Mac OS, different operating systems. So this is something that you go to control panel, security maintenance, and then go to reliability monitor. What it does is it shows you any crashes or errors or failed updates that happen. So if I go back in the dates here, you can see all the Windows updates that have been installed successfully or have failed. You can see the X marks here, like I have on my laptop here. Here is Microsoft Media Player stop responding. Okay, you can open up and then I'll give more details. I'm not going to do that because I don't think it'd be best to show. But anyways, so it will give you a graph timeline, a timeline of how things kind of went and performed. So I think this is something worth keeping up because I can refresh this every single day and then I'll see if there are any issues. Especially important things like the kernel system power failing or whatever. That's obviously something that you want to pay attention to because you might want to fix any corrupted files, especially their registry keys or something that's wrong with the system that might compromise your whole computer device. So, and everyone uses computers nowadays, right? So it's very important to not, compromise your device because you can lose a lot of information that can set you back, especially if you're going to school and you use it for work, you use it for business, school, work, and business, and relationships, and to keep in touch with your family, right? So it's fairly important to get a good feel for that. Not to go, don't get all crazy about it. You don't have to be too panicky or alarmist. All right, so that's one thing. And I think the last thing I'm gonna do before, because I gotta go get the laundry actually, is right? This is really something I've been itching to get rid of. I've really been, God, this has been bugging me. This has really been grinding my gears. Family Guy, Peter Griffin, grinding my. Okay, so what we have here. This is on a. It's a terrible joke. It's an old joke. It's like 20 years old or whatever. Well, Family Guy never gets old, does it? I guess it kind of does. I was never one who really. Family Guy is only second to, in my opinion, to South Park. I love South Park. So Family Guy's kind of like it's funny, but it's sometimes it's kind of like hit or miss for me. I don't know what you think. I don't know. It's kind of like a jackass. You know what I mean? Family Guy's more like a jackass. South Park has that. It's got more wit and cleverness in my opinion. But anyways, back on topic. All right, so we have a recycling bin here, and this is important because I have, if you can't tell, there's like 5 files here named almost exactly the same. Mars Discovery District. That was the recording that I was editing from the past using video software I just showed you right here. And oh my god, so I made some mistakes and I was testing out the features and I merged a full episode with the same episode, so it doubled the size. And you see something here that's 1.2 gigabytes. So here's an error. I cut up 2 pieces that I didn't need, so it's all dumped in recycling. But there's also more to that. If I scroll up here, I haven't touched my recycling bin in ages. It's been like 2 years, and I can see here there are audio files here. These are photos, videos, these are like recordings. Some of them have to do with music that I was using at the time. I want to get to a point where I can cover music series, but I'm not anywhere near that right now. And the relationship that some songs have to me and what I've used them for. Understanding other people, understanding different experiences, getting a different mind frame or perspective. Because I take music to be a very therapeutic thing. I know not a lot of people do that, but at the same level, at the same kind of like depth. But I think it's a very general thing that a lot of people do is that they do use music at some level for getting over their emotions. I think that is almost common. That's what basically everybody does with music, I would assume. But I go a little bit, into using it to understand different people's perspectives even. So it's not even about necessarily using the music to understand myself. I use it to understand other people and other different perspectives. I think that is something that people don't do as often. But we'll get to that one of these days. Anyways, the point is, there's a bunch of files here. Some of them are again recordings, some of them are edits and cuts. Others are just photographs that I've taken when I was eating a meal with a friend, right? Having a coffee with a friend. But then I took a photograph, like pointing out at the floor, one of those like duds. Yeah, so I gotta get rid of some of the stuff here. I can see some of them are quite heavy, it's like 50 MB or whatever. And it's just probably at least 10 gigabytes of space in my recycling bin right now because I haven't touched this in probably 2 years, I'm gonna be honest. So with that being said, I think that's where I'm gonna end it. And thank you for tuning in. This is why do I say thank you? That's it. Bye. How long did this take? I don't know how long it took. 23 minutes. Not bad. I'll see you guys in the next one. This one was a very straightforward, straight to the topic kind of thing, and I think that's good. That's how we should keep it. I hope there was something interesting here. You guys do anything similar and have anything useful to share or interesting to share, you can feel free to just drop it in there. I know sometimes it can be a little bit mundane, a little bit boring, but otherwise there's the back button up there, right? You can I watch other channels and they're for entertainment. Mine is kind of like a mishmash of many different things. So all right, I'll see you guys there. Peace.